The Arsenal product line is a major leap forward in control surface scripts for Ableton Live 9. However, what makes the product line so innovative is largely conceptual. And just like any other new concept, the implications of it may not be immediately obvious. Based on some of the feedback that we've gotten, that appears to be the case with the central concept, this notion of pluggability, or modularity if you will. So I'd like to take a little time to discuss this further and explain why it's such a big deal. So to do that, I'll be comparing Arsenal-powered control surface scripts to conventional control surface scripts. In particular, the Launchpad Pro control surface script that's built into Live. I want to point out that I'm not picking on that script or conventional control surface scripts at large. I'm merely using it as a basis for comparison. Here's a simplified view of the architecture of the Launchpad Pro control surface script. And this is indicative of the architecture of conventional control surface scripts in general. This script has 7 main modes that dictate the function of the controller's button matrix. The first is session, second is note, third is device, etc. And these modes are actually part of the script. This architecture is somewhat similar to the architecture of a non-modular analog synth, such as a Minimoog. Here you've got a bunch of modules, oscillators, filters, envelopes, etc. that are all in a single package. Here's a very simplified view of Arsenal LPP, the Arsenal-powered control surface script for the Launchpad Pro. And this is indicative of the architecture of Arsenal-powered control surface scripts in general. As you can see, there's some major differences here. First of all, this script can run 14 modes. But that's really not relevant to what we're discussing. The more significant difference is what's going on the right. There are no modes here, just empty boxes or mode slots where modes can run. Unlike conventional control surface scripts, Arsenal-powered control surface scripts do not contain modes. They simply have the ability to run modes. This architecture is quite similar to a rack for a modular synth. The rack simply has slots where you can place modules of your choosing. So the involved architectures here are quite different. If you don't yet understand why this is a big deal, that's fine. I'm going to give you some concrete examples of why it's a big deal. As I mentioned before, in a conventional control surface script, modes are actually part of the script. So everyone who uses the script is using those same exact modes. For that reason, modes need to be general purpose so they can be used in a wide variety of use cases. And modes like that certainly have their place. We offer many modes like that within Arsenal. But to be restricted to just general purpose modes is really not ideal, because most of us have specialized needs, and really our control surface script should cater to those needs. That's simply not possible in a conventional control surface script. It's easily possible in an Arsenal-powered control surface script, because each user gets to choose which modes their script runs. So you can choose general purpose modes, such as session mode for launching clips and scenes in session view, or more specialized modes, such as queue mode, which allows for adding, deleting, and jumping between locators and arrangement view, or plugin mode, which allows for loading third-party plugins as well as navigating between their presets. On a similar note, in a conventional control surface script, users don't get to choose which modes the script has. That's not ideal because some modes simply may not fit your workflow. For example, you may not like using button sliders, and would prefer to use faders and knobs for controlling parameters. In this script, 4 of the modes are button slider modes. And if you don't use them, that means that more than half of the modes of this script are useless to you. With an Arsenal-powered control surface script, that's a non-issue. You could simply not use modes that feature button sliders. Conventional control surface scripts are designed to work with a particular controller. For example, if you purchase a script to use with the Launchpad, it's only ever going to work with the Launchpad. If down the road you decide to upgrade to a more recent model, such as the Launchpad Pro, and want similar functionality, you're going to have to buy a script that's designed for the Launchpad Pro. So in other words, you're buying the same functionality again. Within Arsenal, you never have to pay for functionality more than once. For example, let's say you buy Arsenal LP1 for the Launchpad and buy a bunch of modes for use with it. And then later on, you upgrade to the Launchpad Pro. In that case, all you have to do is purchase the Arsenal-powered control surface script for the Launchpad Pro. All those modes that you bought for use with the Launchpad will then work with the Launchpad Pro. In a conventional control surface script, adding a new mode is somewhat difficult. For one, you have to figure out an easy way to access it. Secondly, a new mode will usually raise the cost of the script. And finally, that new mode will affect all users, not just users who actually want the mode, and that could be detrimental to people who don't want it. Again, within Arsenal, this is a non-issue. When we provide a new mode, it doesn't affect anyone other than people who actually purchase and use that mode. So I hope this video brought some clarity to the benefits of this pluggability concept. If you have further questions about it, please feel free to post on our forum or post a comment in this video, and I'll try to clarify it for you.